The Okinawa rail was recorded as a bird of a new kind, but local people knew the bird from old times. They had called the bird by the name meaning hastiness or a forest bird. The chick's body is covered with black feathers, and the adult bird gets white lines from below the eyes to the neck, and develops horizontal white stripes on their black body from the neck to the belly. Red bill and legs characterize their look, and the body is just 35 centimeters long. The bill is quite large for her body size. Legs have a strong frame, while wings are degenerated and small. They are the only Japanese bird which cannot fly, so they run hills and fields. The Okinawa rail is just one of Japan's most likely species to be threatened with extinction, especially being preyed on by mongoose and wild cats, which could be a big factor. So recently, a measure is being taken against such extraneous animals like mongoose. Then their living area is beginning to recover. In order to prevent the extinction of Okinawa rails, protection campaigns of domestication and breeding have begun. Recently, there is a new problem of roadkill coming to head, and the government and local community are coping with this situation together. Now let's take a look at the mongoose in Okinawa. Adult mongoose grows to about 60 centimeters in body length. The male weighs about 1 kilogram and the female about half a kilogram. They mature a half year after birth and give birth to 1 to 3 a year. The newborn one is about 10 centimeters long and approximately 20 grams. Originally, mongoose were released to exterminate habu, a breed of Japanese snake, and rats in 1910 in the southern area of Okinawa Island, and the release numbers were 17 back then. Regrettably, the trial didn't work well because they actually didn't see each other so often in nature. While habus are nocturnal, mongoose act in the daytime. Moreover, the investigation of habu's eating habits reports the appearance of habu as very rare. Originally, there was no flesh-eating animal in Okinawa, so mongoose easily got up to the top of the food chain and have propagated by preying on other animals. By an enormous reproductive power, they increased the number from 17 to tens of thousands since the first release in 1910. And their distribution has spread into the interior of the Yanbaru forest. Let's protect Yanbaru forest. Having the same hope, many measures have been taken by the government and universities cooperatively. The main measure is laying traps in the Yanbaru area. About 15,000 traps have been laid and are being checked constantly by mongoose busters. The capture began in 2000 and has been increasing in scale every year, so that the numbers of mongoose have remarkably decreased. Unfortunately, however, we need to terminate them because once the capture is suspended, the numbers would rapidly recover again. We could save native species like the Ryukyu long-haired rats and Okinawa rails from extinction thanks to the mongoose capture. So this measure against the external species contributes a lot to the preserve of the variety of the living things in the Yanbaru forest. However, the traps also capture the native species, so now development of a new trap system is being held. We need to remove the non-native species while keeping consideration on the native species. While continuing the capture trial, in order to preserve the north area of its rare species, the Okinawa prefectural government put up a fence on the south side of the Yanbaru forest to prevent the mongoose from re-entering from the south. The fence design was constructed after 2 years of experimentation. It's 120 centimeters high, with a metal board attached to the upper part, and to prevent from digging, the fence was placed under the ground. From 2005 to 2007, we set up the fence 4 kilometers long from Shioya Bay to Fukuji Dam. A mongoose density investigation reported a large decrease in the number of mongoose in the north. Revealing that this has contributed to the protection of the Yanbaru forest. The Yanbaru area is surrounded by plenty of nature, beautiful mountains and sea. It's also a place of wonderful culture thanks to nature. At this point, we still have a miracle forest creating the world's eminent variety of living things. Protect the Yanbaru forest also means to protect the people living there. The population of native species has now increased, and the Yanbaru forest is now on the path of recovery, thanks to the measures against invasive species. The Yanbaru forest now holds the key to a balance of human and nature for the future. Yachio Engineering Corporation.